Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Antoine for Antoine Maxwell Photography. I'm back. I've been on a long journey. I just returned back from South Korea to the US. So, my first video is going to be about Alicia Keys with her no makeup photo that she recently posted. So, I'm going to retouch it and give it a natural look. Still a natural look. No, I'm not going to add any makeup or anything like that, but just a natural retouch. So I hope you guys like it. From everything is Command J to duplicate the image. And basically, what I'm doing here is just the typical thing that all retouchers do. It's pretty much just remove some of the imperfections from the face, pimples, things like that. I typically use the healing brush to even the skin tone out sometimes, depending on where it is. But it's a little bit hard because this image is a little pixelated. I got it from the web, so it's not the raw image. So I typically don't edit raw image. The JPEGs. I typically retouch on the raw. But for this tutorial purpose, it's whatever. So again, so I'm just pretty much just removing. Just usually here I would dodge and burn, but you know because of the image quality, I can't really do that. So I'm just going to use the healing brush to remove the lines from her neck area. Um, some of these, because it's also a low JPEG image, you really can't tell the difference between a pimple and her freckles. So it's kind of hard to judge. So I just kind of left a lot of the things there. I believe majority of her face are freckles, but I really don't know because I've really never seen her without makeup on. So we get down here on her chest area, her neck, her chin, those kind of areas. And so we're just kind of just gonna go around and just analyze it. So uh, again, it's kind of hard to tell, but I think we're good for now. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna in my actions, I'm going to go to the micro dot and burn and just kind of just micro dot and burn. And I use a black and white layer to kind of show between the dark areas and the lighter areas. When I do the micro dot and burn, I adjust the red layers to come down a little bit. And sometimes I do the yellows depending on the skin tone. For more lighter skin, I use the yellows and reds, and for more darker, I use the reds. But here we're going to just use a white brush on the lighting dodge area is a curve layer. My flow is at 3% with the opacity on, and just kind of just lightly just go through and just kind of even out the darker areas. Now again, um, because she has a lot of pimples, I'm sorry, not pimples, because she has a lot of freckles, it's a little bit hard to tell what's a freckle and what is a uh, dark spot. So because I didn't take the photo or saw her beforehand, I really can't judge. So right now, basically, I'm just kind of just going off of what I think is a dark spot. So just lightening those areas underneath her eyes and around her mouth, around her cheek. Um, yeah. So I'll just fast forward through this part um, just to go through it. So if you watch a lot of my videos, you've seen this process done almost every single time, and probably from other retouchers. So I won't bore you with the micro dot and burn piece because this part usually is the bulk of at least my retouching. I don't know for other people, but for mine, this is pretty much the bulk of it. This is how I get my natural look for my clients and my subjects. So I'll just fast forward this and we'll go to the next part. All right, so we're back in. So now this is the I'm gonna show you the before and after. Before after of just the micro dodging burn. So you see how it kind of just even the skin tone out right under the eyes and where her scarf is. So now we're gonna do the frequency separation. Go to my actions tool and go to the blend mode. And I typically my radius is up a little bit higher than 7, but for this image, because of the quality of the image, put it down about 4 or 5, and pretty much just go through. And again, just go through each part of her face and basically select those areas, copy that layer and blend it together. Again, usually I'm up around 13 or 14, depending on the image size. But for this image, I have it around 5 or so that way it doesn't spill over on the side. If it does spill over, I use the eraser tool and pretty much just erase away from the areas where I don't want the blending to affect. And I just merge the image and I pretty much just go pretty much around the face and do the same exact thing underneath her eyes, around her nose, her chin, her neck, her shoulders, her chest area. So basically it's the same process through and through with this, with all my other videos that I've done. Like I said, I keep the radius around 5. And you don't really want to. I've seen some people that do this and it spills over and they never erase it. And so what I do, I usually do a double check to see exactly how much it's doing and it spills over. So sometimes if you do under the eyes, it usually goes above the eye and goes inside of the eye. So you have to get rid of uh, that blending mode from there. So again, I'm going to fast forward this and then basically just jump to the next part, show you the before and after, and then we're going to jump to the next section. Okay, so just finishing up the last little piece, and here's the before and after. Not a huge difference, but just a little bit. Just to show the before and after is a huge difference. It's the before and after of the dodge and burn and the frequency separation. Not a big difference because I did a really good job on the micro dodge and burn piece. So now we're going to go to something different. So with my micro dodge and burn, I have to adjust the titles of my layers because when I try to duplicate another micro dodge and burn action, it usually messes up. So this is what I'm doing now. So I do another micro dodge and burn. This is going to be my global, and I just put it back to auto just to kind of see how it looks, just in black and white, without any adjustments. And I'm going to basically bump it up to about 3 or 4%, and with my opacity on, my flow on there, and we're going to just do a global dodge and burn just around her face, just to kind of make her face just stand out a little bit more. Right now it looks a little bit flat, so we're just going to go around and then just dodge and burn globally those areas: her eyebrows, her eyes, around her lips, chin, underneath her neck, shoulders, chest area, just to have her skin just stand out a little bit more. So again, if you're familiar with this technique, I'm not going to bore you with that. So I'm going to fast forward this part, and so we can go to the next step. All right, so we've done that part. Now we're going to do a hue saturation layer and just kind of make her skin a little bit more warmer. She looks a little bit saturated in the image. So we're going to just adjust the reds a little bit in the hue saturation, probably about minus 13. I'm sorry, plus 13, and just looks pretty good. And here's before and after of everything so far. So I'm just going to do a little bit of vibrance also, just to make her scarf pop a little bit. So I'm just going down and up just to see how it looks with the minus and the plus. Around plus 3 should be good. Is before and after. It's very subtle. You won't see a huge difference in the vibrance from the hue saturation, but I think that's good. So we're going to group these layers together just to kind of everything organized. We're going to color it color. All right. Um, get that layer there. We're going to just adjust her body a little bit. She looks a little bit hunched over in the image. I don't know why, but we're gonna kind of elongate her a little bit. So we're gonna basically go our pressure up to about 24. I'm usually around 8 or 9 in my pressure, so that way I can build up to it. But for this, we're gonna have it around 24, so that way we can kind of do things a little bit faster. So basically, I'm just gonna elongate her body and her face a little bit, just to kind of make it look longer. So we're just gonna move the shoulders down, move her face up a little bit. We're gonna adjust her. We're gonna fix her back so she doesn't look too hunched over. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this process or not. If you would like me to show you just a full video on liquefying, I can, of what each button or each function means. I can do that for you, but we're just going to just kind of lift her up a little bit, make her look a little bit longer. I think that's pretty good. All right. So now for before and after, she looks a bit longer, looks a more leaner, thinner, not too much hunched over. So here's before and after of basically everything so far. And now I'm just gonna clone the back of her hair a little bit. They came out of her scarf. I mean, I guess she has hair that came out of her scarf. So we're gonna adjust. We're gonna clone that the area a little bit, and just kind of like just even it out with the clone tool. So with this, I'm at 100% flow. I usually don't go that high at 100%. I'm usually a little bit lower, but because I have the opacity on, it kind of helps. So it's just a little bit easier. You see, I came down a little bit so that way I can adjust it, because when it's really high, it's a little bit hard. But I'm going to liquefy, I think, the back of her neck area. It's because it looked a little bit too flat, so we're going to kind of push it in just a little bit, just so it looks a little bit natural and not too straight, and right in the front as well. Because from adjusting from the liquefy, it looks like it kind of messed up her face a little bit, so we had to just adjust it and fix it. So it's before and after of the stamp layer. And to do a stamp layer, you just hit Command Option Shift E on a Mac. Not really sure what it is for PC, but I can put it in the notes in the bottom of the channel of this video. So now what I'm going to do, hit the magic wand tool, and I'm going to separate her from the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select her, or select the background, and that way I can create this kind of white halo spotlight in the back of her. So with that, I just do the magic wand tool and do the selection, have my flow up to about 100%. Make sure that your brush is not hard. You want to make sure that it's a little bit softer for your hardness. And then we're just going to just do it one more time. And you want to kind of just if you have a tablet, I just kind of tap on it, so it basically builds up. I think right now I did a little bit too much, so I'm going to basically try to do it again. Just kind of bring my brush a little bit smaller and basically just build up to it. So I did about 3 times and basically create a mask on it. Well, actually, no, not a mask. Creating a mask basically just brings it back to what it was. I'm going to adjust it with the curves layer, and I'm only going to adjust the darks and the dark areas, and then the whiter areas. So I just picked on the point, pick a dark point, and then basically just come down, and I'm going to pick a whiter part, and then bring that part up, just kind of just to bring it out a little bit more, and just kind of do that around the area, around the image. And then I think at this point, I'm gonna add some noise to that part of it, just to kind of make it a little more real and remove the little banding around the image, the circular lines. So I'm gonna do my amount around 4 or 5 should be good enough. And then I'm gonna bring the opacity down on it because it looks a little bit too strong. Yeah, so just doing it before and after, just kind of to see how it looks, and add a little bit of clarity to the image, to the entire image itself. So it brings back a little bit of texture to her skin. Again, this image is a low res image, so you really can't get a lot of detail in it. So doing a clarity or adding noise back into the image should help it. So on the curves layer, we're going to bring it down a little bit on the fill to about 50%, and add a little bit, and adding that clarity there brings the image back with some texture. And we're going to group the layers and say keep the layers clean. So we're going to do before and after, just to show you the before and after of everything. All right. So if you guys like this video, please like the video, share it if you like. This is the image of Alicia Keys that was taken with natural makeup. I hope you guys like it and enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time.